Hi there, I'm Jo Sweeney, and this is the Amijo Show. Thank you for joining me. And here for a special LA edition, I have my very, very dear friend, fellow Californian fan, Jo Sweeney, all the way from LA. Jo, you in LA?
Not quite yet, but soon, hopefully.
Soon, I know. Well, that's why I got the glasses out. So thank you for watching today, guys. Because Jo and I have a huge fondness and love for California. We are building our business out there, our brands out there. So I thought I'd just go. Well, these are my LA glasses that I thought I'd get out, especially for Jo.
Well, I wish I'd have bought mine.
Because we're both missing California, and in the situation where we've been talking, I've been sharing pictures for you. So welcome to the show, Jo.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. And you're in Hereford, not Hartford. I always get them mixed up.
Yes, in the Midlands, yeah.
In the Midlands. Fantastic. So this is Jo Sweeney. Jo Sweeney is a mindset coach, to female entrepreneurs. Her coaching program, which is her very own, is called Guts, Grit and Glory. And that's her own program that she's devised for women who are entrepreneurs, who've got established businesses, but they want to take it to the next level and do so authentically and with the right mindset, because so many people in business really struggle with keeping that positivity and focus, and that's when Jo steps in. So fantastic to have you on the show, Jo. So let's talk about so this is part of the Stuck series, and unfortunately you're kind of almost doubly stuck right now.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, as I'm sure everyone has seen on the news, there's been lots of things going on. Obviously we're in global pandemic, but previous to that, just before all of this happened, we actually went through the process of being flooded, which is which I'm sure everyone has seen on the news too. So we are doubly stuck in the sense of waiting to move and managing flood damage and furniture, you know, in different rooms, and it's a bit all over the place right now, but you know, I'm trying to run a business as well, but making it work and just hanging in there really, and trying to stay positive.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Because this too will pass, is what I keep saying to myself and anyone else who needs to hear that. But yeah, this too will pass, because you've just launched your Guts, Grit, Glory program, haven't you? Which is really exciting.
That's right, yeah. It's Guts, Grit and Glory for me has actually been a proposition that actually came to me in 2019, and so late 2019, and so I've been working on it behind the scenes, and I officially launched it, although I've been a coach for what feels like a million years, as I know you understand that as well, Jo. We've been doing this for a long time. Guts, Grit and Glory was a proposition that actually downloaded into my brain through a meditation, and so I was working on it in the background for a long time, and then it just felt like the best time to launch this was actually a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, during this time where the sentiment of Guts, Grit and Glory seems so relevant to be able to help people during, you know, what is a testing and tricky time. So that's why I decided to launch it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, no, good for you. And because obviously there's a lot of people reassessing, pivoting is a very overused word right now, but looking at what their business is, what it has been, actually what they can do differently. And that's obviously physically, but not just physically, just within the whole business, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think you know, typically my clients are established female entrepreneurs, and I think the biggest question that I have been asked is, well, how do I show up right now, because it's not business as usual, and so how do I show up in like, not necessarily just coaching businesses, but in the world in general. And a lot of the work that I'm currently doing is helping women to really step up in even more powerful leadership ways, so that they can, you know, really help the other people within their audiences and their networks as well, and lead from a place of power rather than a place of fear, which is easy to get into that in, you know, a tricky time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I think there's, sadly, it feels like there's almost kind of two teams at the moment. There's people that seem to be really thriving and are able to have that resilience, positivity, and progressive kind of thinking. And there are others that really are feeling very literally stuck in what they're where they are, and concerned, very worried about moving forward. But this will come to an end, and it's and obviously coaching, we're just before we came onto the recording, actually it's never really done better, just because most of us are used to working from home. Most of us are kind of entrepreneurs, so we're pretty resilient anyway. So actually, in a way, we're all able to maybe offer a little bit extra, which I've got discounts in my services, and and a lot of coaches have, and mentors, because it is a tough time, but actually we know that you can get through, and if you're creative, because your background is in advertising and marketing, isn't it? So
That's right,
you're
yeah.
very much used to that kind of industry that's very
Mm-hmm.
quick, cutthroat, which is really good grounding for what you do with your clients.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just, yeah, to your point, having had a 13 or so year career in advertising, and also working in big ad agencies in big cities as well. You'll know, Jo, because obviously you're based in a big city. This is outside of advertising as an industry, but in just living in a big city, you're used to a certain pace, right? And I think when that is kind of built into how you approach life, because it's our lifestyle, we have to be resilient, and so and we're always working quicker, and that's the way of the world now. And so I feel honoured and privileged in a lot of ways to be able to help people to really ground into a more empowered way to lead at this time, and to show up in bigger and better ways for the work that they need to do to support others in the world right now as well. So yeah, I think having a grounding in both advertising and city life is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we're all slightly in a go slow. I know I'm definitely feeling much slower but busier than ever. So it's a kind of an interesting kind of paradox, really. But it's great because obviously we both have clients in the States, but this is the beauty of technology, which we've been using for taking advantage of for years, is that we can have clients in the States and in California, especially for you and I, Jo. But and that it actually, the whole world has opened up before now, but I think people are really realizing that we can have interviews, we can have really amazing one-to-one consultations with clients that are nowhere near us, but we've been doing this for a long time. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, the day that I decided, I'm sure you went through the same process, the day that I decided to take my business online, just to your point, all of a sudden the whole world opened up, and then I never thought that I would have the opportunity to work with people all over the world, and suddenly then at that point that became my reality, which I know is the same for you as well. And so that makes it really cool for a start. But also I just think, thank goodness for technology right now, because it is a way to not only show up and serve clients and to continue running our businesses in that way, but just things like this, being able to have connection and to use technology for empowerment, and to everyone's in this together, right? And so to just be able to support each other and stay connected, because it can be tough when you're in the house all the time.
Yes, indeed. Especially we've got little ones. Not that mine are very little anymore; they're 13. But yeah, there's a friend of mine who is stuck at home with her 3-year-old daughter, trying to run a business and consult. But she's doing a grand job. She's doing absolutely fine, which is great. So let's come on to women leading, obviously, and leadership, because we've already touched on that. And I'm super thrilled, Jo, that you're in part of my very first proper book. That's my new publishing company, and you're one of the authors in this book. So hopefully that's been a good experience for you to be in part of that tribe and that new movement.
Oh, for sure. It is, first of all, I was so honoured that you asked me to be part of it. And secondly, it was just such a bucket list thing for me, because I think, a lot of us have messages that we want to share with the world, and, writing is something that I've always loved and always wanted to do. And so having the opportunity to do it has been incredible. And being able to do that alongside a group of people that are just so inspirational and interesting, and the stories, I mean, we obviously won't share too much on this, but I'm so excited for the book to be released, because there's just such an amazing array of different types of stories, and it will be one very interesting and awesome book. I'm so excited to be part of it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we should have a release date by the 15th of May for sure. That's what I'm hoping for. So let's keep everything crossed. But yeah, and like we're saying, you know, it's a global authorship. So we've got authors from literally the other side of the world, also California, Canada. So it just, isn't it amazing? And I think it adds a special something when you feel like you are part of a global message, not just a message from London or, you know, the UK. It's got so much more power, hasn't it, when you're, and it's lovely how everyone's supporting each other, because there are some first-time authors in there, although people like you that have been writing for like years in your business and your job, but I'm really super thrilled, and obviously that will be out very soon on Kindle and also Audible. And it's going to be called Women Leading. So look out for Jo and look out for me and all the other, I think we're up to 18 authors now. So an incredible.
Quite exciting.
And men voices too, because obviously we're trying to create a new conversation about women leading. And that's not just women. Men need to be part of this conversation. And their chapters have blown me away as well. So it's going to be super, super powerful. And so let's come back all the way back to you know, LA and LA thing, because obviously you're planning to hopefully go out, you know, autumn time, hopefully, all being well, back to LA to see your tribe and your clients and your network over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I bond so much over our love of California. I mean, we knew each other long before we you know, went on our trips, and it was so cool that we actually on our individual trips got to spend some time in LA together, which was amazing. So yeah, I went to LA. It wasn't my first time, but I didn't see much of it the very first time that I went. And so really my first time, which was actually my second time, was about this time last year actually. And I actually went there for personal development reasons. I went to work with a trainer and to go on a bit of a health journey. And I just fell in love with it, as I know you understand, Jo. And it was just incredible. I was based in LA, and just the vibe of LA and the community that I met there, and just being able to go on such a transformational journey, it was for me anyway, that as soon as I came back to the UK, I just thought, well, if there is any opportunity to spend more time there, then I would absolutely love it. And so that is the big dream and the big goal that I'm currently working towards. So it's exciting.
And it's really good time to have big dreams and big goals right now, you know. And one of my other interviews is with someone called Luke Murfitt, and he was Entrepreneur of the Year last year. And he is he's in his 30s, but he's got Parkinson's disease. And if you need to be inspired, watch his video, because he's in the first series of the 21 days of the Amijo Show. But okay, he overcomes every day, every morning. It takes him such a long time to literally unclick his fingers, get his body ready to move off of his bed, let alone out the door. But one of his incredibly most generous messages is to dream big, because otherwise what's the point? And so I think at the moment, actually, it's really healthy to just allow yourself to think of LA, to think of the moving on and moving forward. Just don't set expectation to that, but allow yourself to think bigger and better. Because Jo and I actually are very thrilled that we have a joint offering, because obviously I very much call myself a mentor. Jo is very much a coach, and together we have quite a kind of overall holistic offering, haven't we, for women entrepreneurs that really want to make a huge difference with their lives, with themselves, and with their businesses too. So if anyone is interested in work with Jo Squared or Jo 2, or we're still working on that, just Jojo, I think does it really, because we do go out to LA together, and I've still got really fond memories of being in that amazing shopping centre. It's totally gone out my head. What's it called, Jo? The
The Grove.
Grove. In the sunshine, drinking a latte, just kind of, watching all that.
Put the glasses back on.
Glasses need to come back on. I need to get into my LA vibe. And then obviously next time we're going to go out, we're going to go to Santa Monica together because we haven't done that yet.
Yes,
we're going to just hit the beach and get a cocktail or three and
and put the worlds to rights, which we always do.
Of course, yeah. Well, we go back a long way now, Jo, don't we? So
we do.
So
and
there we go.
It's exciting it's exciting that is, something that we share, and that, as you said, we have got this joint offering, which is very cool. And that's really exciting too.
It is, and actually it's a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because if you have got, so when I met Jo, which is a number of years ago at the London College of Style, we kind of straight away started talking about California and how much we both loved it. And if you have got a big dream that is really kind of most of your tribe or a lot of your tribe can't quite relate, and that was very much me 6 years ago, 5 years ago even. I was very much the only person having these kind of ambitions. I did feel a little bit like, I better keep my voice a bit quieter. Can I really explode with that and tell everyone about it? So meeting someone who has a like-minded, obviously mindset, but also a vision is really powerful. So if you are hoping to dream big and you want to get in touch with me or get in touch with Jo, then please do, because that's what life is about. We set our intentions, we work to get there, but you need to have that positivity and someone to say, right, yes, you can do that. Whereas sadly, unfortunately, sometimes in our lives we have people that go around, I don't know about that. What about X? What about Y? So that's not how we rumble. We'll get there eventually, and it will happen at the right time. Hey, Jo.
For sure. And actually, Jo, one thing that I learned from you is to, when you have a big dream and you have a big goal, is to speak it into existence. And so I am forever constantly speaking about my goals and dreams, and with whoever will listen. And I put my goal of working towards spending more time in LA out on social media the other day, because for me it feels good to stay connected, and as I said, what I learned from you is to speak it into existence.
Absolutely, yeah, totally do. And so yeah, share the message, share the love, and that all creates energy, and that's what makes it happen. Well, that was Jo Sweeney. Where's the best place for people to find you, Jo?
Probably on Instagram. So that's where I hang out the most. I seem to live on that platform. So my handle is at it's Jo Sweeney. And website for gutsgritandglory.com is going live soon. So check there in the near future too.
Fantastic. Can't wait for that to happen. Thank you for joining me, Jo. It's been great to have you and chat, as always, of all things, including obviously California.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Jo. This has been really fun.
Oh, pleasure. That was the Amijo Show. I'm Jo Born-Trott. Thank you for watching. Please like, please share, and please kind of put any comments and in YouTube, because YouTube likes that, and obviously want more people to hear Jo's inspiring story, hear from me, and share the love of this show. So thank you very much for watching.